Welcome to Health Coach for Women, a podcast where we explore alternative and holistic solutions to better health and wellness through intentional living. Now, here's your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Health Coach for Women, a podcast where we explore alternative and holistic solutions for better health and wellness. And I'm your host, Marsha. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, as we are entering fall, this is the time for the cold and flu season for those who live in the four seasons, where you get the four seasons. So where I am, we do get the four seasons. Okay. But of course, I'd like for you to go ahead and hit that like button, share, and subscribe. And I always have a quote for you. And this quote is strengthening your immune system is it's just not about protecting yourself today, but it's about investing in a long-term health by nurturing your body with the right habits every day. And it's unknown, not sure who it's by, but this is so true. We have to nurture our body with good habits. By doing good habits, we may fall off sometimes, right? We may fall off sometimes, and we don't limit ourselves, right, to a strict regimen, although some people do. And if that's what works for them, it's like whatever works for you. We don't want to deprive ourselves where we are not enjoying ourselves, but we also don't want to overindulge, right? We also don't want to overindulge, but we do want to be at a middle ground where we are able to kind of have the best of both worlds, right? But we need to take care of our bodies. So how do we do that? Today, I'm going to go ahead and discuss with you 10 tips on how you can boost your immune system for the cold and flu season, right? So that you can stay healthy. It's important. The first thing is eating immune boosting foods. Of course, you guys knew I was going to say that, right? Eating healthy foods, right? Eating healthy foods, high nutrient dense foods such as fruits, berries, garlic, ginger, spinach, almonds, yogurt. All of the healthy things that we can eat, foods that contains vitamin C and probiotics to help strengthen your immune system, right? So we can have healthy foods, right? Remember to color your plate with high nutrient dense foods. It's not that hard, guys. You just got to do it. We also want to make sure that we are staying hydrated. Remember last week that I talked about tips on how you can have healthy skins. Staying hydrated is one of them, either with being hydrated with some drinking water several times a day. You also want to, if you're not allergic to coconut, some coconut water, right? I told you before that it's a very alkaline and it's good for you and has electrolytes. It's very good for you and it's good for the skin. We want to make sure that we are drinking a lot of water. We want to make sure that, because in the winter months, what happens? Our skin tends to dry out, right? So we want to make sure that we are drinking, staying hydrated, right? We want to make sure that we are doing that, all right? And drinking water is one of them, or some alkaline coconut water, your spring water, things like that. Now, remember, let me go back and say this. Now, if you're having your coffee or your teas that contains caffeine, we just want to make sure that we are monitoring. You probably want to stay away from a lot of caffeine only because it dehydrates you, right? So the thing is, we want to be hydrated. We don't want anything sucking us dry and making us dehydrated. We want to be hydrated. All right. So just wanted to point that out. Another thing we can do is making sure that we get enough sleep, right? And sleep is important. What happens when we don't get enough sleep, right? We're sluggish. We got foggy brain, right? We can't focus. We tend to lose focus, unable to concentrate, maybe irritability, moody, all these different kind of things when we don't get enough sleep. Another important reason to make sure that we get enough sleep is because at night is when we detoxify, right? And remember that the brain detoxifies from through the cerebral fluid, right? And that's what the pineal gland is for. The pineal gland, right, helps us to detoxify, and the brain eliminates toxins via the cerebral fluid. So we want to make sure that we are getting enough ample sleep. right? At least 6 to 8 hours of sleep, right? You know your body. Maybe you only need to, maybe you can function with just 6, maybe someone else, maybe 7 or 8. So you know your own body. What does it take for you to get enough sleep so that you can be ready to go in the morning, right? To start your day. So these things are important, right? And quality sleep is crucial, right? And this having quality sleep helps to protect against getting infections, right? So we want to make sure that we are doing that. And if you're someone who have trouble sleeping at night, like maybe, sometimes you're not able to get enough sleep or whatever, you can try taking some bedtime tea, right? The nighttime tea, the chamomile, right? Trying some chamomile tea, right? Trying something like that. The next thing we can do that we need to do to boost our immune system is to exercise regularly, whatever we can. You don't have to do a whole bunch of exercise, just walking, right? Simply walking 30 minutes a day, doing some stretching our lower back, stretching in the morning when we wake up, right? But we want to make sure that we are stretching, doing some form of exercise and getting enough exercise in that we are able to improve circulation, reduce stress, as well as boost your immune system, right? So that's why we need to make sure that we do that. Number 5, what are some things that we can take to help boost our immune system? Maybe you don't like eating a lot of fruits. Maybe you don't eat quality foods. That's where supplements can come in really handy that can help you, right? So some good supplements that you can take that I always take, make sure that you have is your vitamin C, your zinc, and your vitamin D, right? As well as probiotics, right? Some probiotic foods can be things such as some fermented foods such as sauerkraut, all right? Things like that. You want to make sure that you are taking your supplements, right? And then in the wintertime, we know that there's less sunlight, right? So maybe you may be one of those that experience the mood disorder, right? Where you're more, maybe down more in the fall and the winter months, right? So maybe some light therapy, right? Some light therapy that can help you with getting enough sleep, right? And to making sure to help you with your mood. Now, remember, I mentioned things like vitamin C, D, and zinc, but also things like echinacea, right? Sambuca, right? We want to make sure that we are taking these things that's going to help us boost our immune system.
If you are struggling with health issues like chronic pain, being held back by past traumas, or feeling overwhelmed and hopeless, please know there is hope. There is help. Transcendence, a woman's guide to healing and self-love for better health, happiness, and abundance, is a blueprint to help you get your life back and reclaim your health. Within its pages, you'll learn how to elevate your existence by shifting your mindset toward the positive, focusing your energy on what's really important, using gratitude to feel deep appreciation, changing your gene expression through epigenetics, building resilience, and living in a state of flow, feeling love overflow within. Go beyond an ordinary life. Transcend. Buy it now.
So we want to make sure we're taking things like elderberry, right? Sambuca, right? That is some things that people could take, right? This is for people who have the cold and flu, right? But you want to make sure you're taking your things like your elderberry, especially when you're experienced, if you already have gotten a flu, you want to take those vitamin C. Remember last week I showed you the vitamin C emergency drops that you can put in your water. You want to take that, making sure that you add that to your water, taking that regularly on a daily basis, just to help with keeping your immune system up. For those who get sick quite often, you need to be asking yourselves, what things are you taking or what things are you not taking that's keeping you sick all the time, right? Some people have children where their kids are sick all the time. Well, are they getting enough nutrient-dense foods? Are they getting quality foods? Are they taking their supplements? Maybe there's certain things that they don't like in foods that you can probably give in a supplement, right? Like your vitamin C, your elderberry, your C, your zinc. Kids should be getting some type of multivitamin anyway, right? To help them, right? So I just wanted to mention that. Now, another thing is besides taking the immune supplements, right, is managing stress. Now, we all know what stress can do, right? Weaken the immune system, raise cortisol levels, right? We know that chronic stress weakens the immune system. So we need to make sure that we are doing things to manage our stress, right? Becoming more self-aware, right? Becoming more aware of our thoughts or the things that trigger us to get upset. We want to make sure that we are monitoring that and doing things that's going to keep us at a calm, at a place of calm or peace, right? Sometimes that's hard to do, right? Depending on where you work or work environment, everyone's personality. Sometimes people's personalities can click or not click, right? So sometimes there can be problems with that. Or sometimes you are just in a stressful environment, heavy workload, not enough staff, things like that, the usual, right? And so we want to make sure that we are making sure that we're taking care of ourselves and managing our stress levels. That's why it's important to take your breaks. That is why it's important to make sure that you eat properly, right? And doing things such as practicing mindfulness, right? Becoming more aware of our thoughts and what we are thinking, and doing breathing exercises in addition to walking regularly. We have to find a way to relieve that stress, right? Eliminate the stress. We have to find ways. We may not totally get rid of stress 100%, right? All of the time, but we want to make sure that we are reducing our stress as much as possible, right? This is important. Okay. So take time on your little break to do a little breathing exercise, whatever it is for you need to do, meditate, whatever, right? Being active. What about going outdoors? Remember, I talk about being in nature, right? Making time for yourself to be in nature. That should be a part of your self-care routine, right? Getting out and being in nature. Right? Spend times with the kids, going to the park, taking walks in the park, right? Doing things outdoors, right? Finding ways to experience, but still enjoying, right? The change of the weather, the seasons, and then still enjoying, having some type of enjoyment for yourself and your family, right? That's important. What about some herbal teas, right? Now, I love herbal teas. And you know what my number one tea is for me is green tea, right? Green tea is great, but there's so many different other teas that you could take. Echinacea tea, elderberry tea, right? Ginger tea. Sometimes they have those combination teas, right? That have some of different tea leaves in them that you can use to help boost your immune system. Right? Of course, you always want to find things that are organic, right? As possible. You want to find those organic. Maybe you can buy the fresh leaves. Maybe you can at your local one of those markets. Sometimes the Asian markets have those fresh herbs and leaves that you can buy, and you can brew them and make fresh tea. Right? Avoid excess sugar if possible. Avoid excess sugar because you know that excess sugar can suppress your immune system, right? So if you didn't know that, excess sugar can suppress your immune system, right? So that's things that you have to look at. Why am I always getting sick? Why do I tend to get sick a lot? Do I eat a lot of sweets? Do you eat a lot of sugary drinks? Do you eat have a lot of soda? So you want to make sure that you are limiting that as much as possible if you cannot totally avoid it, right? You want to make sure that you are doing that. And remember, a lot of sugar end up spiking your blood sugar, right? For those of you who are diabetic. So we want to really watch our content, our sugar content, and what we are eating and how much we are eating. Okay. Now, the next and final thing is prioritizing our gut health. Remember, I already mentioned some of the other things that you can have. You want to have high fiber foods, right? To promote good gut bacteria, fermented foods like sauerkraut, right? Kefir, pickles, right? The fermented pickles. You want to have things like that. That's going to help prioritize your gut health. There are probiotics that you can take that they sell as a supplement as well to help with having good gut bacteria. So if you do all of these things, or even half of these things, right, that I've mentioned, if not all of these things, this can help boost your immune system. And even if you were to get experience maybe catching a slight cold, you do these things, it'll knock it right out, right? It'll knock it right out. And some people that have a cold for like a week or so So you do these things, you'll knock it out. Maybe you may feel a little something, a little under the weather, maybe for like a day or so, and then it's gone, right? You can feel something coming on. That's why I just take these things regularly, right? For me, it's just what I take regularly. So it's very rare that I get sick. And if I do get sick, it comes and goes. It doesn't stay long at all, because I'm always making sure that I do the things that I can make sure that I'm staying healthy, right? So I just wanted to go over a few of these things with you to share with you. And sure, if you have any ideas or any your own family recipes or things that you want to share, please reach out, share. I'm on Instagram, post in the comment section, share some of your own remedies, right? One of the things that, for me, which I'm sure you all heard of, was the honey and lemon, right? Having tea with honey and lemon, not only does it help with a sore throat, but it also helps, right? Honey also helps with soothing the throat and can help with a cold, help aid a cold, right? In addition to the lemon and even the ginger, right? And we know that ginger helps also with inflammation. So some honey and lemon with ginger. These old recipes that you got from grandma back in the day, this was before they had doctors, right? Before you had the doctors, they had their own little herbal remedies that they used, and it worked, right? So stick with what you know works, right? You got those little recipes, that grandma taught you back in the days, stick to those things, they work, right? For the most part, they work. All right, so I am going to wrap up. I just wanted to cover that with you, and I hope that you are doing well. I hope all is well with you. I thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, be safe and bye for now.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Health Coach for Women with Marsha Roopchand-Walker. If you've enjoyed this episode, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. That helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.